Yo, what up, guys? Welcome back to the show. It's your boy Kenny bringing you guys another spoiler review. Before we get into that, guys, drop a like, drop a comment, press that subscribe button if you're watching us on the YouTube page. If you're listening on the podcast feed, we appreciate all of you over there as well. Thank you so much for all the downloads and all the plays. Keep doing that. Keep spreading the word. All those downloads helps the show immensely, man. It really does. And with no further ado, let's get right into the spoiler review for Don't Look Up, Adam McKay's latest film and his latest comedy at that. But is it a little more truth than fiction? Oh, yeah, man. This is definitely one of my favorite movies of the year. Hands down. This film is brilliant, man. Just starting off with the positives and everything I really enjoyed about the movie before we get into the few things I didn't. Oh, man. I just love the way Adam McKay crafted this story in this film together to just address all the crazy stuff that has been going on in this country and just the world at large as well over the last decade or so. You know what I'm saying? It is far beyond just the last couple years. It's also that too, but it touches on so many different subjects and themes and things that that us as American society and us as at the world at large, but really just us in America, man. It just really captures the fun and the positive side, and also the negative and kind of ignorant side of us as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And it really gets to a lot of that political stuff without taking one side over the other. They portray both sides of most of these different subjects and most of these things, because the whole premise of this film is that Dr. Randall Mindy, played by Leo DiCaprio, had did the orbital calculations for the comet that Jennifer Lawrence's character Kate DiBiase discovered, and they end up naming the comet DiBiase after her, of course. And this whole crazy adventure unravels from there, because they discover a comet that would literally end existence as we know it here on planet Earth, not just in this country, right? The whole world at large is at risk. And they go to tell the president, played by Meryl Streep, and her son, who is one of her big people that works with her in the White House. I don't know his title officially, but played by Jonah Hill, her dumbass son Jason. And they go to tell them about this threat that they discovered after they meet Rob Morgan's character, Dr. Teddy Oglethorpe. And he brings them to the White House to meet the president and all that stuff, so they could tell them about this planetary threat. But they don't even see the planetary threat for what it is. They're like, I call it 70%, you know? Is it 100% or no? No? 90-something? Okay, it's not 100%. It's like, dude, scientists never say 100%, dumbass. You're not getting it. And Jennifer Lawrence's character and Leo's character throughout this whole film are just constantly trying to convince them of how dangerous this comet really is, and that if we don't get together on the same page, we will not get past these threats, you know? We won't get past this thing that's about to come. And it just speaks to an overall issue with us as a society, that we can't see eye to eye on the simplest of things and just get together on these common threats and just a myriad of different issues. And just politically in general, we always just have to take a side and not see the other side. You know what I mean? Not literally everybody does that, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of people do that, and it becomes this very territorial, very competitive thing, when it's more like we're supposed to be the United States of America. We're supposed to, work together to find a common, to achieve this common goal, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, people just always have to take one side or the other, or the internet goes wild with theories and all this different stuff goes down, and just the normal stuff ensues. They're always having these stupid news reports with the morning news with Kate Blanchett and Tyler Perry's characters and all that funniness, and it's just so great how this film can balance the fun and the silliness of just entertainment and just trends and the way that society is with all that stuff, but also get to some of these political issues in sometimes a very poignant and serious fashion, but also in a very like fun and lighthearted fashion as well from both sides, and kind of showing how we can all be a little silly and a little self-righteous at times, depending on what our political bias is. You know what I mean? So I kind of love how the film can poke a lot of fun at us at large, but also kind of take a look within and just let us know that we're all guilty of this stuff just as much as other people are of doing it or whatever, and vice versa. So I really love how the film isn't hypocritical in that way. It doesn't get too preachy. It always keeps it very light and entertaining. And this is one of the funniest performances I've seen from Leo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence in a long time. These two are probably at their funniest in years, man. Like Jennifer Lawrence's whole bit with the general that charged them for the free snacks at the White House. It is brilliant, man. And it comes up several times throughout the movie. And it's one of the best bits for sure, man. And I just really love the humor and the comedy of this film. At times, it does get to be a little much, which kind of slides into a little bit of a mixed element for me. But overall, it's very funny and very on point for the most part. And the comedic timing of all the actors is really good. I just think Jonah Hill and Meryl Streep get a little over the top and a little much at times. But overall, I enjoyed this cast from top to bottom, and it's stacked, dude. Like I didn't even mention everybody really. Like there's Himesh Patel as Philip, Jennifer Lawrence's boyfriend in the film. The main guy from the film, I believe, Yesterday. Big Beatles fan right here. And you got Melanie Linsky from Two and a Half Men fame playing June Mindy, Leo DiCaprio's wife in here, Dr. Randall Mindy's wife. And we got Mark Rylance as this tech billionaire, Peter Isherwell. And he slides me into one of my few problems with the film. Overall, I didn't like his character and I didn't like the performance. I thought it was a little too silly, a little too over the top, and the whole angle and plot line in this movie with him wanting to blow up the comet instead of and make it into smaller asteroids or whatever the hell they said, and to make it into smaller pieces so that way it doesn't blow up the planet. But they can get these rare materials and crystals that they can't normally get to create all this new technology to get even richer, which is a bunch of nonsense. And they want to do that instead of just taking out the threat like Dr. Randall Mindy and Kate DiBiase figured out. They got a whole plan and everything. They were going to nuke him, take him out before it gets here, but they had to abort the plan to go along with this new plan. And I get the point they were trying to make with that greed and a lot of these things with the different governments and political or the politicians at large do get in the way of just that, of just achieving a greater goal and getting an improvement in the betterment of our country and everyone at whole and at large. They just want to fill up their pockets more and get their stocks up and all that stuff. It is a poignant point that I do get is out there, but I just thought the film was a little too over the top and heavy-handed with that particular point in the film. But I thought pretty much every other theme and thing that they touched on politically or socially or otherwise was very funny, very engaging, and very poignant and serious when it needed to be. And talking about serious stuff, the ending with how the world does get blown the fuck up because they're too stupid to get their heads out of their ass to actually take this thing out and don't realize their plan isn't going to work. And of course, the president and the tech billionaire get away. But they do leave Jason behind, so that was a good plus. Because unfortunately, Kate DiBiase, Dr. Randall Mindy, and all these characters we came to love throughout the film do get blown up and taken out. And it is sad to see the whole world blown up, of course, but it's all because it's all the consequences of these dumbasses' actions and power that really hold the control of the situation, unfortunately. But the way it was acted out, the way they were trying to kind of like just act like it was a regular family dinner, and that whole scene, the way it played out, where everything was shaking and slowly like breaking down and the world was slowly kind of blowing up as the asteroid had blown into somewhat smaller pieces but was mostly intact and just took the whole planet Earth out. But the way they almost played it out in slow-mo but not slow-mo at the same time was so dope, and I really loved the way that they really gave an emotional, hard-hitting ending right there for the film, because it is a pretty long comedy, and most of the time it's usually not a the best thing in the world when a comedy's necessarily that long. But for this one, it actually played out at a pretty good clip for the most part. I think they could have trimmed out a few minutes, but overall, when you get to this very emotional, well done ending, it is all worth it and so much or not fun, but it really gets you thinking, and just really appreciating the life you have and the time you have on this planet and in this life, and just really living in the moment and appreciating all the loved ones and those around you. Was another great theme that kind of came around there towards the end of the film that I thought was very awesome and very well done. And the whole thing with them, with the president and the tech billionaire and all them coming out of cryogenic sleep 20-some thousand years later on that new planet and getting ate up by those bird things was great. I was like, hell yeah, they better get theirs or else this movie's going to go down a whole grade. But I really enjoyed this film, man. It's so fun, so well done, so well acted, so funny. And like I said, it's not too heavy on the political stuff, I don't think, to not enjoy it and have a good time. Because like I said, it's not picking a side. It's not pointing the finger saying anyone's guilty or anyone's wrong. It's just looking at society at large and kind of looking at some of our shortcomings, some things we need to change, and just coming together as a people, It's really the main point of the film, I think. And I think you can really have a good time with it if you don't let your political bias get too much in the way and just have a good time with the film and it being a social commentary and what's the word I'm looking for? Satire of society, not just this country, not just us. It's society and the world as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So don't get too caught up in the politics and not have a good time. And I guarantee you will have a great time. Check this out on Netflix and add this to your queue. It's a very good time, guys. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and give this. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give this 8.5, 8.5 out of 10. I'm gonna just give it an 8.5 out of 10. Very freaking good, so engaging, so fun. You might even see this film pop up on the lower half of the top 10, man. You just might. I'm going to have to shake up the list a little bit. I'm going to have to think about it before I record that episode. But when you guys see that, you might be seeing Don't Look Up on the list. But until then, guys, make sure you drop your comments and your opinions on the film below. And let's not get too political and too serious. Let's have a good time like we always do here on the channel at Fandom Frequency. We want to hear from y'all. And until we see you guys again, stay tuned. Don't sleep. Peace out, guys. Stay safe out there. And much love, all right?